be on his radar. So God
Yeah.
knows who is, he accused everyone else of doing everything horrible.
Freedom of speech only matters when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning. Today, Tom Parker Bowles, dropping absolute bombshells about his mother. It is getting nuclear now, Steve. Yeah, Carl, nuclear doesn't even begin to describe this royal family meltdown unfolding right before our eyes. He's gone. No reconciliation, no forgiveness, not even a courtesy call to Buckingham Palace. Tom Parker Bowles has cut all ties with Queen Camilla, and the timing couldn't be more catastrophic. Why? Because a shocking DNA test just revealed the truth about Camilla's own paternity, and the results are sending shockwaves through the monarchy. Oh, and royal biographers are now involved, reportedly scrambling to rewrite history books that could turn this family drama into a constitutional crisis. So what exactly did this DNA test show that has the royal family in panic mode? Why is Tom suddenly distancing himself from his mother like she's radioactive? Stick around, the plot is thicker than royal blood. But first, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update in this wild royal family implosion. Did you just subscribe? Awesome. Let's dive into this royal mess. It started like any ordinary family research project. Tom Parker Bowles, respected food critic and son of Queen Camilla, reportedly took one of those ancestry DNA tests. You know, the kind millions of people take every day just for fun. But what happened next was anything but ordinary. Tom was on that cooking show last month saying how proud he was of his heritage. "I've always been fascinated by my family history on both sides," he said with that trademark, aristocratic smile. "I thought I knew exactly where I came from. But that smile has vanished." According to multiple sources close to the royal family, Tom received results that indicated Queen Camilla's biological father was not Major Bruce Shand, as everyone had believed for over 75 years. Yeah, this DNA test apparently revealed that Camilla's actual biological father was someone completely different, a man with connections to the highest levels of British aristocracy, and with secret ties to the royal family itself. Translation: the entire royal lineage just got complicated. Tom reportedly confronted his mother with these results at a private meeting at Clarence House 2 weeks ago. Witnesses describe hearing raised voices and emotional exchanges before Tom stormed out, visibly shaken. Since that day, complete radio silence between mother and son. One palace insider told us, "This isn't just about family secrets. There are serious constitutional questions about bloodlines and succession that could rock the monarchy to its core." And as if that wasn't explosive enough, royal watchers started connecting the dots. You heard that right? According to several royal journalists, this paternity revelation potentially explains why King Charles was so determined to marry Camilla, despite all the obstacles and public disapproval. "It's like the pieces of a puzzle suddenly falling into place," said one royal expert who requested anonymity. If Camilla's biological father is who we now think it is, it would rewrite decades of royal history. Remember how the Queen was initially against Charles marrying Camilla? Yeah, theories like that get a whole new meaning when you consider what DNA might have revealed behind palace walls. And guess what? As soon as whispers of this DNA test began circulating, Tom Parker Bowles vanished from public life. No one saw it coming. One day he's at a book signing promoting his latest cookbook, and the next, gone. No scheduled appearances, no social media updates, not even a comment through his publisher. According to sources within Tom's inner circle, he's gone completely off-grid at a friend's estate in Scotland. And this wasn't some planned vacation. Insiders say he felt blindsided, betrayed, and unprepared for the identity crisis this DNA bombshell triggered. The test results, the confrontation with his mother, the implications for the royal family. It was all too much. So he cut ties completely. Some say he's already consulted lawyers about legally changing his surname. Others say he's preparing a tell-all memoir that would make Prince Harry's Spare look like a bedtime story. What's clear? His relationship with Queen Camilla appears irreparably damaged, and the ripple effects are just beginning to hit Buckingham Palace. And social media? Oh, it's melting down. As rumors of this family fracture spread, hashtags started trending instantly. Royal DNA scandal. Not her son. Camilla secrets. One viral tweet read, "If your entire identity was built on a lie, wouldn't you distance yourself too?" Another said, "Tom deserves better than decades of deception. Maybe now we'll get the whole truth about the Windsor-Parker Bowles connection." Critics are calling this the biggest royal cover-up since the abdication crisis. royal. Commentators argue that this paternity question raises serious concerns about who knew what and when. But others? They think this could get even worse. Palace PR teams are reportedly in full-on crisis mode. Sources say that top royal advisors are working around the clock on damage control because, let's be honest, this isn't the first family secret the royals have tried to bury, but it might be the first time DNA evidence has blown the lid off generations of carefully constructed narratives. Book publishers are circling. Documentary filmmakers are pitching projects. The royal family is scrambling. Some insiders claim King Charles himself is now trying to act as mediator between his wife and stepson to prevent further family implosion. But with DNA evidence involved, that reconciliation might be impossible. "I want the truth to finally come out," one of Tom's friends reportedly told a British tabloid. "There's something in those royal bloodlines that they've been hiding for generations. This isn't just another celebrity family drama. This is a potential rewriting of modern royal history. It's about identity, legitimacy, and whether the British monarchy can survive yet another scandal that challenges its very foundations." The royal biographer Penelope Hartwick-Smythe didn't mince words when interviewed yesterday. This revelation creates legitimate questions about Camilla's rapid rise from mistress to queen. If her biological father was indeed connected to the royal family as these DNA results suggest, it paints the entire Charles-Diana-Camilla triangle in a completely different light. And the royal experts aren't stopping there. Historians are now reportedly re-examining photographs, letters, and diaries from the 1940s, looking for clues that might have been missed about Camilla's true paternity. "The physical resemblance is undeniable once you know what to look for," said royal historian Malcolm Thornbridge. "Compare photographs of Camilla with her supposed father, and then with this other gentleman from the aristocracy. The evidence has been hiding in plain sight all along. Whether Tom eventually reconciles with his mother or not, this moment has already changed the royal family forever. The DNA doesn't lie, the family bonds are fractured, and now the public and historians alike are watching every development with renewed scrutiny. Will Tom break his silence with a tell-all interview? Will more royal family secrets come to light through other DNA revelations? And will Queen Camilla be forced to publicly address her true paternity, or continue the generations of secrecy? According to sources close to Tom, he's currently working with genealogists to trace this newly discovered biological lineage, potentially uncovering even more shocking connections to other prominent British families. "This isn't just about Tom and Camilla anymore," said one royal expert. "If these DNA results show what we think they do, there could be ripple effects throughout the aristocracy. Other families might discover their histories aren't what they believed either." Some royal watchers believe this explains why Camilla was so determined to marry into the royal family despite all the obstacles. "It wasn't just love," suggested one commentator. "If her biological father was who we now think, she may have felt entitled to that position all along." Palace insiders report that King Charles is deeply concerned about the impact this revelation is having on the already fragile public perception of the monarchy. Coming so soon after Harry and Meghan's departure and Prince Andrew's scandals, "This is the last thing the king needed," said one source. Genealogists are now reportedly inundated with requests from members of the public who believe they might be related to this newly revealed royal connection. "Everyone wants to know if they're somehow connected to this secret branch of the family tree," said one DNA testing expert. But the real question remains, what will Tom do next?
Do you worry about protests? Do you worry about Republic coming and shouting things
Everyone has a right to think what they want.
Behind the big royal family everyone knows, there's someone most people forget about. Queen Camilla's son. He doesn't wear a crown. He doesn't stand on palace balconies. He stays quiet, away from cameras. But he has something that makes his life very different. Billions of dollars. He's not on magazine covers every day, but his world is full of things most people can only dream about. Big houses hidden behind tall trees. Fast cars that cost more than some people's homes. Trips to beautiful places that look like they came out of a movie. Expensive art, fancy clothes, private chefs, and more. All bought quietly, all kept out of the spotlight. While the world watches kings and queens, he lives a secret life of luxury. No flashing cameras, no big announcements, just quiet spending, quiet power. Behind the scenes, he moves through life with money that opens every door, but barely makes a sound. Homes that whisper wealth. Tom Parker Bowles lives in London, one of the most expensive cities in the world, and his home reflects his refined taste and financial power. He owns a beautiful townhouse, tucked away in a stylish and historic neighborhood. It's not the kind of house that screams for attention from the street, but once you step inside, it's impossible to ignore the quiet luxury that surrounds you. The home is likely filled with fine furniture, polished wooden floors, bookshelves lined with cookbooks and rare titles, and carefully chosen artwork. The kitchen, as expected from a food writer, is probably the heart of the house. It wouldn't be surprising to find top-of-the-line appliances, marble countertops, and copper pans hanging above a stove where both professional chefs and Tom himself have cooked many fine meals. But as lovely as city life is, sometimes you need space, calm, and a breath of fresh air. That's where Tom's countryside home comes in. Away from the buzz of London, he has a second property that offers peace and privacy. This home sits among the green fields and rolling hills of the English countryside. The house itself likely has a rustic charm. Stone walls, a large fireplace, and a kitchen with windows that look out over flower beds and fruit trees. It's a space designed for quiet evenings, good wine, and thoughtful conversation. Friends come to visit, long meals are shared, and time moves just a bit slower. This is the kind of place where he can step away from the public eye and simply live well. First-class travel, always. Tom Parker Bowles doesn't just live well at home. He also travels in style. When he goes abroad, he's not lining up in security queues or crammed into a middle seat. He flies first class and sometimes even charters private jets. The destinations he chooses are just as refined as his lifestyle, often known for their beauty, culture, and of course, their food. Places like the Amalfi Coast in Italy are among his favorite getaways. With its sparkling blue waters, cliffside villages, and fresh seafood, it's a dream destination for any food lover. Tom isn't there just to relax. He's there to taste, to explore, and to experience the world's finest ingredients at their source. Provence in France is another spot that matches his lifestyle. The lavender fields, the local cheese, the deep red wines, all speak to someone who values not just luxury, but the richness of tradition and flavor. He's also often seen in the Cotswolds, sometimes alongside his mother, Queen Camilla. The area is known for its peaceful charm and classic English beauty. It's no surprise that Tom would retreat there when he wants a weekend of calm, comfort, and countryside cooking. These aren't rushed trips. They're slow, immersive, and full of detail. Every meal, every moment, planned and savored. A life built around taste. What truly sets Tom Parker Bowles apart is his deep love for food. He isn't just a man who enjoys fine meals, he's made a career out of it. As a food writer and critic, his entire world revolves around flavor. And when you have the money to chase the best tastes in the world, you do it at the highest level. Tom dines at Michelin-starred restaurants around the globe. These aren't casual dinner spots. They are temples of fine dining, where meals are carefully crafted over hours, and chefs are treated like artists. A single meal can cost hundreds, even thousands of pounds. But for Tom, this isn't about showing off. It's about the experience. It's about what's on the plate and the story behind it. He also enjoys private dinners at home with personal chefs, often preparing custom tasting menus that feature rare ingredients from around the world. These meals aren't just delicious. They're events, experiences shared with close friends who understand the value of fine cuisine. And it's not just about what he eats, but who he eats with. Tom is part of elite dining clubs and societies, private circles where food lovers come together to taste, discuss, and appreciate rare wines, exotic dishes, and cooking techniques. Entry into these circles doesn't come cheap, and they're not open to just anyone. It's another part of a lifestyle built on refined taste and quiet exclusivity. The style of a gentleman. You'll never see Tom Parker Bowles dressed in flashy designer logos or bold, trendy fashion. His style is the kind that doesn't shout. It speaks in soft, confident tones. Everything he wears looks effortless, but is clearly expensive. His suits are likely tailored to perfection, made by classic British brands that focus on craftsmanship over celebrity. He favors quiet, well-made pieces, shoes crafted from fine leather, shirts stitched with care, and accessories that suggest heritage rather than hype. A classic watch, maybe passed down or chosen for its story, adds just the right touch of elegance. This is the kind of fashion that says, "I know who I am," and that's far more powerful than any runway look. making millions from his passions. While Tom Parker Bowles comes from money and moves in royal circles, he's also earned a fortune through his own work. As a best-selling author, his cookbooks have been sold across the world. These aren't quick recipe guides. They're thoughtful, detailed explorations of food, tradition, and flavor. His books have won awards and topped charts, earning him not just critical praise, but also a strong income. A single best-selling cookbook can earn hundreds of thousands in royalties, and with multiple books under his belt, Tom has built a personal brand that goes far beyond his famous last name. He's also a regular presence on television, judging food competitions, appearing in documentaries, and working behind the scenes in food media. Every appearance adds to his value, both financially and professionally. Beyond the page and the screen, Tom is believed to have investments in the food world. He may be a silent partner in several high-end restaurants, possibly even supporting boutique food brands that align with his values, organic farms, artisanal producers, or heritage food companies that focus on quality and tradition. These investments not only grow his wealth but keep him connected to the food world he loves so deeply. Speaking, hosting, and influencing. Quietly, Tom Parker Bowles also earns from public speaking. He is often invited to food festivals, wine events, and culinary conferences, where he shares his stories and knowledge with passionate audiences. He may guide tastings, host private events, or lead panels on everything from food history to the future of dining. These appearances aren't just side gigs. They're well-paid, well-attended, and contribute to the overall picture of a man who has built a life around passion and privilege. Every speech, every appearance is another layer of a lifestyle designed for someone who lives and breathes taste. A lifestyle steeped in quiet luxury. In the end, Tom Parker Bowles' life is not loud or flashy, but it's undeniably luxurious. From the homes he owns to the meals he eats, the way he dresses, and the businesses he supports, everything reflects quiet confidence and refined taste. He may not be a royal in title, but he moves like one. He travels the world with purpose, dines like a king, dresses with timeless class, and earns from doing what he loves most. His billions aren't splashed across headlines or spent on wild extravagance. They're poured into flavor, culture, comfort, and connection. That's how Tom Parker Bowles lives. Not just rich in money, but rich in experience. So, there you have it. A closer look into the incredibly rich, yet surprisingly under-the-radar world of Queen Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles. He may not wear a crown, but when it comes to taste, travel, and quiet luxury.
Well, I mean, I am extremely concerned. Again, I was trying to outline a 10-point action plan.
For years, the secret remained locked away, hidden in the shadows of the royal family's tightly guarded walls. A secret so powerful, it could change everything. King Charles, a monarch with a life shaped by public expectation, carried a truth that few could ever fathom. Beneath the crown and the grandeur, there was a bond that he was forced to keep in the dark. His son, a child whose very existence threatened to unravel the delicate fabric of royalty. But why? What drove a king to hide his own flesh and blood? The story behind this secret is one of love, sacrifice, and the unimaginable choices that come with wearing a crown. This is the untold truth of why King Charles had to keep his son a secret. Who is the son? The story of King Charles and his alleged secret son is one shrouded in mystery. Many have wondered, who is this child that was kept hidden from the public for so long? Well, the details around this secret son remain unclear and largely speculative, with a mix of rumors and half-truths that have spread over the years. However, one of the most prominent claims is that the child is from an affair that King Charles had during the 1980s. Some reports suggest that the child was born out of an affair King Charles had with a woman who was not Princess Diana or Camilla Parker Bowles. Yet, despite the rumors, there has never been any official confirmation of the son's identity. What we do know is that this child was allegedly kept away from the public eye, and any trace of him was wiped from the royal family's official history. While the exact details about the son are hard to pin down, speculation has linked the child to King Charles's earlier years when he was already married to Diana, or even earlier when his relationship with Camilla was less public. For some, the idea of a secret son is not entirely shocking, given the royal family's long history of maintaining a certain image and protecting their personal lives from public scrutiny. But why would a member of the royal family, particularly someone as high profile as King Charles, choose to keep a child in the shadows? What could possibly be the reason for such secrecy? Why was he kept a secret? The question of why this son was kept a secret is both complex and, in many ways, heartbreaking. King Charles, like all members of the royal family, was bound by the unspoken rules of monarchy, where image and reputation are everything. The royal family's primary concern is maintaining an image of perfection. Royal protocol dictates that every action, every word, and even every relationship be carefully controlled to ensure there is no scandal. A royal scandal, especially one involving an illegitimate child, could threaten the very foundation of the monarchy. For Charles, revealing the existence of a son born out of an affair could have been disastrous. It would have brought intense media scrutiny, undermined his already strained relationship with Princess Diana, and sparked public outrage. The British monarchy is an institution built on tradition, and any deviation from that tradition is viewed as a threat. A secret child could have complicated the line of succession and the delicate balance of power within the royal family. Beyond the public image, there was also the issue of security. Royals live under constant threat, and a child, especially one with a questionable background, could have been vulnerable. In a world where the media would go to extreme lengths to dig into personal matters, exposing the son's existence could have endangered both him and his family. So, keeping the child a secret seemed to be the only logical option for King Charles and the royal family. It allowed them to shield themselves from the harsh glare of the media and protect their public persona at all costs. The story of concealment. But how did King Charles go about hiding this son? The royal family is known for its ability to keep secrets, and this one was no exception. The story of concealment is as much about strategy as it is about secrecy. First, it's important to understand that royal lives are not like ordinary lives. Members of the royal family have access to vast resources, including personal security teams and staff who are sworn to secrecy. The child's birth, if indeed it happened, was likely kept under tight wraps. He could have been raised far away from the public eye, perhaps in another country or under the guise of a distant relative. What is even more fascinating is the fact that King Charles could have continued his life as though nothing had happened. His public appearances, interviews, and royal duties were all unaffected. The child was likely kept hidden from the media, and any records relating to his existence were sealed. Perhaps even those closest to King Charles and the royal family never knew about this secret. Despite the level of secrecy, the question remains, why take such measures? King Charles had to know that the truth would eventually come out. The longer the secret remained hidden, the more difficult it would be to keep it under wraps. But for him, the cost of revealing the truth may have been far greater than the cost of concealment. Reasons behind the secret. The royal family's reputation is everything. They are not just public figures. They represent an institution that has stood for centuries. Every member of the family is expected to act with the utmost decorum and to maintain a flawless image at all times. A scandal involving an illegitimate child would have been catastrophic, especially at a time when the royal family was already under intense public scrutiny. The monarchy's ability to remain in power is directly tied to how it is perceived by the public. Any scandal, no matter how small, could shake public confidence in the royal family. And for King Charles, who had already faced significant challenges in his personal life, this secret son could have been the tipping point. An affair, a secret child, and the potential for a broken marriage all painted a picture that the royal family could not afford to make public. The monarchy was going through enough turmoil with the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage, and the idea of a hidden child would have been too much to bear. The political consequences of revealing such a secret would have been immense. As the heir to the British throne, King Charles' actions could have directly affected the monarchy's future. A secret child could have complicated the line of succession, especially if there were doubts about the child's legitimacy or place in the royal family. If the secret son were to be revealed and accepted into the royal fold, it could have created a conflict with other heirs. Would the child have had a claim to the throne? Would there have been a struggle for power within the royal family? These are questions that would have undermined the stability of the monarchy and could have had serious constitutional ramifications. At the time, the royal family needed unity, not division. Exposing such a secret could have jeopardized that unity. threatening the stability of the monarchy for generations. King Charles's personal life was far from straightforward. His marriage to Princess Diana was fraught with tension, and his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles was widely known and discussed by the media. But even beyond these well-documented issues, there were personal feelings at play. King Charles's decision to keep the son a secret may have been influenced by a desire to protect his family, and particularly his children. Revealing the existence of another child, especially one from a relationship outside of his marriage to Diana, would have caused further strain between him and his children, William and Harry. There was also the matter of his own emotional state. Charles was under enormous pressure, both from his public duties and from his personal life. Keeping this secret might have been an effort to maintain some semblance of control in a life that felt increasingly out of his hands. The hidden child's life and impact. The life of the secret son, assuming he existed, would have been one of extreme secrecy. Raised away from the public eye, he would have likely been kept away from the royal spotlight entirely. While there are no confirmed details about his upbringing, it's possible that he was given a private education, shielded from the intense media attention that the royal family often faces. His life would have been vastly different from that of his half-siblings, William and Harry. Unlike them, he would have been kept hidden, with no public appearances or official titles. It's even possible that he grew up unaware of his true parentage, given the strict measures the royal family would have taken to keep the secret. Being kept a secret would have undoubtedly taken a toll on the child, especially as he grew older. The knowledge that his existence was concealed from the world could have led to feelings of isolation and confusion. Would he have ever learned the truth about his father? And how would that knowledge have shaped his relationship with King Charles, his family, and even the British public? The emotional strain of living in secrecy cannot be underestimated. For a child who was denied the opportunity to know his father fully, the psychological impact could have been profound. How did the child cope with growing up without public recognition or connection to the royal family? The royal family is known for its strong public image, but behind the scenes, their relationships are not always as perfect as they appear. Keeping such a secret could have strained the dynamics within the family. King Charles's relationships with his children, William and Harry, would have likely been affected by the knowledge of a secret child. How did they feel about the secrecy? And what did it mean for their relationship with their father? These are questions that remain unanswered, but the impact on the family's closeness and trust would have been undeniable. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden truths and untold stories. There's always more to discover. King Charles and Queen Camilla's forbidden love affair started from friendship, which eventually led to marriage, despite the controversies surrounding their relationship. Some of these controversies also revolve around Camilla's status as the future queen. But now, King Charles has made an announcement about Camilla's position in the palace, which could potentially change her status. This would lead to several questions about the future of the royal family. What is this announcement? And how exactly does it affect the future of the royal family? Join us as we reveal the huge announcement that King Charles made about Queen Camilla, the royal announcement. King Charles has just made an announcement regarding Queen Camilla, which has stirred a lot of reactions from both the royal family and the public. This announcement brought about a lot of changes in the role Camilla has to play within the monarchy. This announcement further established her title as Queen Consort and her growing responsibilities alongside Charles. In his statement, King Charles emphasized his commitment to supporting Camilla as she continues her royal duties. This decision is important not only as a personal acknowledgement of their marriage, but also as a strategic move to redefine the monarchy in the public eye. Following the death of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022, the royal family underwent a significant transition. Prince Charles, her eldest son and the longest-serving heir apparent, immediately ascended the throne as King Charles III, marking a significant shift after decades of Queen Elizabeth's reign. This change brought in a fresh perspective and approach within the royal family. With King Charles now at the helm, Camilla was formally acknowledged as Queen Consort, highlighting her crucial role alongside him. This important moment is indicated by Charles's emphasis on service and community engagement, to silence the sentiments shared during his early years of public life. The couple's focus on charitable initiatives is evident, with Camilla actively championing causes like domestic violence awareness and literacy programs. Their joint efforts reflect a major shift in how the royal family engages with the public. The couple has made significant strides in fostering a more relatable and approachable image. You will not believe the reaction of the public. Keep following. The public reactions to the announcement have been positive, with many praising Camilla's dedication to her royal duties and charitable work. Her ability to connect with people from various backgrounds has played a critical role in reshaping her public image. Furthermore, their marriage shows a modern monarchy that acknowledges past controversies while looking toward the future. Also, the media reactions to this news is quite fascinating, as the opinions and comments varied. Supporters applaud this as a sign of progressive leadership, acknowledging Camilla's growth and her contributions to various causes. However, critics remained skeptical, pointing to the history of their relationship and the controversies that have surrounded it in the past. Among the royal experts, discussions emerged about whether this move would solidify Camilla's place in the monarchy, or if the public would continue to contend with her controversial past. As royal analysts analyzed the situation, they noted that this could mark a turning point for the monarchy. Many believe that Charles's decision reflects a desire to modernize the royal image, moving away from the old perceptions that have plagued the family. Peradventure, the implications of this announcement will pave the way for a new era in royal history. It is a notable interest that the public opinion has shifted dramatically over the past 2 decades. Polls indicate a growth in 2017, during an important moment at a public engagement where Camilla spoke candidly about her experiences with domestic abuse, which solidified her commitment to raising awareness about such critical issues. This authenticity proved vital in shifting public perceptions. Interestingly, her marriage to Charles allowed her to represent the modern royal pattern, harmonizing tradition with progressive values. As the couple's love story grew, their dedication to environmental causes gained momentum, with Charles often highlighting Camilla's support in his speeches. Together, they began to represent a new era for the monarchy, one that focused on compassion and service. The acceptance of the monarchy, particularly among younger generations, who value the authenticity and engagement of their leaders. Charles and Camilla's marriage is now seen as a testament to love's endurance, a narrative that matches with a society increasingly prioritizing emotional connections. The implications of this announcement are profound. Will Charles and Camilla continue to change the narrative of the monarchy's role in British life? As they take on more significant responsibilities, their marriage will set the tone for future generations of royals. The challenge lies in balancing tradition with the expectations of a diverse and evolving public. As King Charles and Queen Camilla embark on this new chapter, they carry with them the hopes of a nation ready for change. Their story is one of resilience, love, and the promise of a modern monarchy that embraces the complexities of contemporary life. The royal couple's vision may not only uphold their legacy, but also inspire a renewed connection between the monarchy and the British people. As they take on greater responsibilities, there is a sense of anticipation about the impact their leadership will have on future generations of royals and the evolving nature of the British monarchy. King Charles's bold decision regarding Queen Camilla has altered the way of the royal family. The love story of the amazing British couple did not start out of the blues, as there was backlash and controversies behind their sweet story. How did their love grow over the years? Keep watching to find out. Camilla's past and royal connections. Love is generally believed to be a beautiful thing. It is a thing of joy when a couple recounts their love story. The story of King Charles and Queen Camilla began long before their marriage, tracing back to their early years. Their connection, which began in the early 1970s, sparked a relationship that would come to symbolize both resilience and controversy. At a polo match, the young Charles first met Camilla Shand, a spirited woman with a distinct charm that captivated him. Little did they know that this chance encounter would lay the groundwork for a complex relationship filled with both joy and heartache. Camilla Rosemary Shand was born on July 17, 1947, into an upper-middle class in King's College Hospital, London. Her parents, Major Bruce Shand and Rosalind Cubitt, welcomed their second child into a family steeped in British aristocracy. Her upbringing was relatively privileged, She attended prestigious schools, including Queensgate School and the University of London, where she studied English. This background provided her with a strong foundation, and influences became pivotal in shaping her character. Growing up in a society that valued lineage, she developed a keen understanding of her social environment. When she crossed paths with Prince Charles, then the heir to the British throne, their instant connection could not be hidden. Their paths first crossed in the early 1970s, at a polo match, where mutual friends facilitated their introduction. The chemistry was immediate, and they quickly became inseparable. Yet, as the public later came to know, their burgeoning romance was fraught with complications. Camilla's marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973 added an additional layer of complexity to their connection, leading to public speculation and scrutiny. Their marriage seemed conventional on the surface, but the reality was far more complicated. At 6:47 p.m., Windsor's gates slammed shut on Camilla's own son. Why? Stay with us to hear the very words William used to spark a palace revolt. Tonight's story might reshape the monarchy forever. We're revealing what really happened when Prince William blocked Tom Parker Bowles from entering Britain's most prestigious charity event. Palace insiders call it the most explosive royal confrontation since Diana's death. What you're about to discover will change everything you think you know about William's vision for the crown. At 6:47 p.m., security watches in horror as a black Range Rover approaches the castle gates. Tom Parker Bowles, Queen Camilla's son, prepares for another routine royal gala. Instead, he faces an unprecedented denial from the Prince of Wales himself. William's security team delivered instructions so strict, they shocked even senior palace staff. But what drove William to take such drastic action? Guards refused entry as Tom's car idled at the entrance. He demanded explanations. Palace security stood firm, their earpieces crackling with commands from the heir to the throne. Witnesses described Tom's confusion turning to anger, his voice rising as realization dawned. This wasn't protocol, this was personal. Next, the 4 words that ignited a royal war. You won't believe them. At 6:43 p.m., just 4 minutes earlier, William delivered his orders. Palace sources reveal he used these exact words: "I don't accept him." The statement echoed through Windsor's corridors like a shot fired across the royal divide. Senior aides scrambled to understand what prompted such severity. Royal historian Dr. James Morton explains it bluntly. This isn't just exclusion, it's erasure from the future monarchy. William stood at his office window watching the East Gate. He'd calculated this moment for weeks, tracking Tom's media appearances, studying his interviews. Each casual comment about King Charles's health fed William's growing concern. The future king saw more than just protocol breaches. He saw threats to the crown's carefully managed narrative. Tom reached for his phone. Sources say he texted senior royal advisors, demanding immediate intervention. No response came. The message was clear. William had unified the palace behind his decision. Even longtime staff who'd known Tom since childhood couldn't override this command. Those 4 words shattered decades of protocol. Next, the fallout that stunned even the king. Queen Camilla was already inside the castle, greeting dignitaries when an aide approached. Witnesses describe her face draining of color, her hand briefly trembling before she straightened her spine. Body language expert Sarah Chen analyzed the footage. Notice how Camilla touches her throat, a subconscious gesture of vulnerability. Her jaw tightens. This woman is processing deep betrayal. Camilla maintained composure for exactly 17 minutes, long enough to excuse herself politely. She retreated to a private chamber where staff heard her quiet sobs. Palace insiders reveal she made only one request: find my son. But finding him wouldn't solve the larger crisis brewing behind Windsor's walls. King Charles received the news while reviewing charitable initiatives. Sources describe his immediate response as thunderous silence. He canceled his evening commitments, locking himself in his study. For the next 5 hours, Charles would wrestle with the impossible choice between supporting his wife and backing his heir. William conducted the charity gala with calculated precision. He thanked Camilla publicly for her dedication to the crown. Yet observers noted his body language when mentioning family unity. the tightened grip on his speech notes, the microsecond of hesitation before each platitude. The prince wasn't just hosting an event, he was demonstrating his authority. Behind the scenes, palace machinery shifted into crisis mode. PR teams drafted statements while legal advisors reviewed protocols. Had William overstepped? Sources confirm no. The future king possessed full authority to determine guest lists at events under his patronage. But had he fractured the family beyond repair? Royal correspondent Victoria Hamilton warns viewers, this wasn't impulsive action. William spent weeks building consensus among senior advisors. He turned Tom's casual media appearances into evidence of unsuitability. By the time that Carr reached the gates, William had already won the palace war. Late that night, Charles attempted reconciliation. Sources describe emotional confrontations where both Camilla and William refused to yield. The king found himself caught between his wife's maternal instincts and his son's royal pragmatism. Aides report Charles paced his study until dawn, still seeking a solution that would preserve both family and monarchy. Tom eventually received a call. Not from family, but from his own children, worried by news reports. Palace sources reveal he briefly considered making a public statement, but ultimately chose silence. His closest friends describe him as devastated but determined not to fuel more drama. What they don't reveal is Tom's private vow. I'll never put myself in this position again. The immediate aftermath sent shockwaves through royal circles. Extended family members who'd assumed automatic access suddenly questioned their status. Annabelle Elliott, Camilla's sister and longtime royal interior designer, received notice that her Windsor contracts wouldn't renew. William's restructuring had begun before the dust settled. Was William justified? How will Charles broker peace? Don't miss our exclusive insider answer. Charles's peacemaking began 48 hours later with a private family summit at Balmoral. Sources describe tense negotiations where Camilla demanded Tom's reinstatement, while William insisted on maintaining boundaries. The king proposed a compromise. Tom could attend family Christmas at Sandringham, but would face scrutiny at all future official events. The settlement satisfied no one completely. Camilla gained Christmas access for her children, but lost the broader integration she'd championed for years. William secured his precedent about royal event protocols while accepting minimal family concessions. Charles preserved surface unity while knowing the foundations remained shaken. You can feel the shock. What would you do if you were Camilla? Yet this crisis revealed William's broader strategy for modernizing the monarchy. Palace insiders explain he's drafting new protocols that clearly separate official royal business from family connections. Blood relations won't guarantee royal access. Adherence to strict behavioral standards will. Some praise this clarity. Others fear it isolates the crown from human connection. Tom Parker Bowles resumed his food critic career with remarkable dignity. He appeared on television shows, launched a new cookbook, and traveled extensively, all without mentioning the Windsor incident. Yet colleagues notice subtle changes. He politely declines invitations to discuss royal family matters. His London social circle notes increased caution about paparazzi presence. The man seems determined to prove himself worthy through achievement rather than proximity to power. The charity event itself proceeded magnificently, raising record funds for chosen causes. Attendees praised the organization while carefully avoiding family drama in their public comments. Yet private conversations buzzed with speculation. Senior society figures began reassessing their own relationships with various royal family members. Whose invitations might be rescinded next? Security protocols tightened dramatically across all royal venues. Guest lists now require direct approval from senior royals, not just administrative staff. Background checks intensified, focusing particularly on media connections and public statements. Some view these changes as long overdue. Others see them as symptomatic of William's increasing control. Queen Camilla adapted with characteristic resilience. She maintained her extensive charitable work while visibly separating her public role from her maternal concerns. Palace photographers notice she now rarely mentions her children in public appearances. When she does, remarks focus strictly on their professional achievements rather than family connections. This careful calibration marks a new chapter in her royal identity. The broader royal family adjusted their expectations accordingly. Princess Anne's children, traditionally peripheral to core royal events, now understand their attendance depends entirely on William's assessment of their public behavior. Cousins who once enjoyed automatic invitations wonder whether casual social media posts might cost them future access. The Windsor incident created a template for William's eventual reign: clear, uncompromising, centered on institutional preservation. Public reaction divided along predictable lines. Traditional monarchy supporters applauded William's firm stance on protocol. They saw his actions as necessary protection of royal dignity against informal creep. Modernizers worried about the monarchy becoming too rigid, too isolated from contemporary British society. The debate continues to rage in media and social circles. Inside the palace, staff morale reflects this split. Longtime employees loyal to the inclusive vision championed by Diana feel William has betrayed her legacy. Newer advisors, including William's carefully selected team, view his approach as essential modernization. The generational divide threatens to reshape palace culture as William's influence grows. Tom's exclusion sent ripples beyond immediate family. Extended relatives questioned long-assumed privileges. Would William apply similar standards to distant cousins? Would charitable patronages face review? Palace sources suggest a comprehensive restructuring awaits, touching every aspect of royal connection and access. The gate incident was merely the prologue. The Christmas gathering approached with trepidation across the royal household. Tom would attend, but under what conditions? Sources reveal William established specific guidelines. No media interviews for 3 months prior, no private conversations with journalists during the holiday, immediate departure if paparazzi appeared near Sandringham. These demands represented a partial victory for both sides, inclusion with severe restrictions. Camilla prepared for this constrained reunion with careful strategizing. She coordinated with Laura Lopes, Tom's sister, to ensure smooth family dynamics. They planned activities that would minimize potential friction while maximizing quality time with grandchildren. The Queen understood this Christmas might determine whether rapprochement remained possible. Palace betting circles wagered on the summit's success. Would William's rigid framework prove sustainable? Could Tom navigate the minefield of restricted access? Early reports suggested guarded optimism. Both men maintained public civility while privately monitoring each other for protocol breaches. Camilla played mediator, walking carefully between maternal instinct and royal obligation. The monarchy emerged from this crisis fundamentally changed. William demonstrated his vision extends beyond traditional notions of royal inclusion. He prioritizes institution over individuals, consistency over compassion. This approach may strengthen the crown's public image, while potentially alienating extended family members accustomed to automatic access. Yet questions linger about the long-term consequences. Can a monarchy focused so intensely on image and protocol maintain relevance in modern Britain? Will William's strict boundaries create more family friction as his father ages? Palace modernizers worry about creating a crown that seems increasingly removed from ordinary human experience. Tom Parker Bowles, for his part, appears to accept his redefined position. His public appearances radiate grace under pressure. He speaks warmly about King Charles when prompted, avoiding controversial topics entirely. This restraint perhaps signals acceptance of William's new order, or merely strategic patience until circumstances change. Only William's eventual reign will reveal whether this accommodation proves sustainable. The Windsor Gate incident crystallized shifting power dynamics within the royal family. William established himself as the arbiter of royal inclusion, superseding even his father's preferences when necessary. This concentration of power suggests his coming reign will diverge sharply from the relatively flexible approach that characterized Charles's early kingship. Queen Camilla's position, once seemingly secure after decades of public rehabilitation, now carries new vulnerabilities. Her children's royal aspirations must align perfectly with William's exacting standards. This precarious balance forces constant vigilance, transform maternal connections into strategic calculations. The personal cost of her queenship has never seemed higher. Media coverage gradually shifted from sensational headlines to deeper analysis of royal power structures. Constitutional experts debated whether William's actions set precedents for future monarchs. Did he expand royal authority over family matters, or merely exercise existing prerogatives more boldly? The academic discussion masked broader unease about what William's kingship might entail. Christmas at Sandringham proceeded with superficial harmony. Tom attended, adhered to restrictions, maintained appropriate decorum. William treated him with polite distance, neither warm nor hostile. Camilla moved between her children and royal duties, careful never to force interactions. The gathering succeeded because all parties recognized the alternative, permanent estrangement, would serve no one's interests. Tom published his cookbook without royal references. Reviews praised culinary expertise, while noting his deliberate avoidance of family connections. This professional compartmentalization reflected lessons learned at Windsors gates. Success on merit, not royal association, became his public brand. Whether this represented personal growth or bitter necessity remained open to interpretation. The king continued treading carefully between familial peace and institutional demands. He supported William's protocols while maintaining private channels for family reconciliation. Advisors note Charles's strategy: public backing for the heir combined with quiet preservation of family bonds. This dual approach delayed but didn't eliminate inevitable tensions. As spring approached, preliminary assessments emerged about William's gate decision. Some praised newfound clarity about royal boundaries. Others lamented lost opportunities for modernizing monarchy through inclusive family representation. The debate captured broader anxieties about the institution's future direction, under an uncompromising air. By late spring, the immediate drama had faded, but structural changes remained. William's approach to royal protocol had won institutional support. Charles accepted the heir's authority, while hoping mature reflection might eventually soften rigid boundaries. Camilla focused her energy on charitable work, finding purpose beyond family politics. The monarchy continued its endless dance between tradition and modernity. The Windsor Gate incident earned its place in royal history. Future biographers will analyze William's decisive action as marking his true assumption of power, before coronation, before official authority, through sheer force of will and strategic planning. The moment encapsulated his conviction that personal relationships must bend to institutional needs. Tom Parker Bowles adapted to his constrained position with unexpected resilience. He built relationships outside royal circles, cultivated his own achievements, demonstrated autonomy from the crown. Whether this independence represents liberation or forced exile remains debatable. His dignified response to exclusion perhaps earned more respect than automatic inclusion ever could. The broader monarchy faced questions about accessibility versus dignity, family warmth versus institutional coldness. William's supporters argued clear boundaries strengthened the crown against modern challenges like media intrusion and public scrutiny. Critics worried about creating a monarchy so removed from human connection, it loses cultural relevance. The eternal royal balancing act continued. As summer bloomed, preliminary reports suggested stabilization within the family. William and Tom maintained cordial distance. Camilla balanced maternal affection with royal responsibility. King Charles preserved overall harmony, while privately hoping eventual maturity might warm relationships. The crisis had redrawn maps of royal connection, rather than destroying them entirely. The charity gala's success provided cover for lasting change. William demonstrated he could execute difficult decisions while maintaining public effectiveness.